Ali Bub wanted to hang out under pressure over the concluding stages and is in a photo with Noble Spur for the second and third. No numbers up at the moment.
OK, Ian, send them down the line and we'll relay them to the viewers. The Q Moore stable with John Grisdale aboard. Barrier 1 sneaks up on the inside to collect the cash. That one came up in the ratings as the third pick. And don't forget you can purchase your ratings online. Looking at the runners parading, there's the mark at Victoria Park for race 3. It's Naden, now second elect behind Gold Anthem. Andrew Stett's mount has been well tried and one more over the page. Caulfield, this is the Caulfield Cup countdown. The Group 2 Winning Edge Presentation Stakes. It's 12 clearly ahead of the 3, 4 and 6. Full market, let's just check out the main ones on course. It's National Treasure, well tried and good value on the tote. Ahead of Maguire, Grey Song, the Second Mortgage. They're all equal third favourites behind Gold Lottie, which has eased. Wide open race outside of National Treasure, and you're getting good value on the tote. Alf Matthews, as we look at these stayers, the key ones, looking for Caulfield Cup berths, including Maguire.
Brendan looks very good, very healthy. Expect him to go better today. Look, he finished 4.5 lengths, 5 lengths behind Northerly. It holds him in good stead for a race like this.
Big drop in class for Henderson Bay?
Yes, certainly. I couldn't work out his last run. There was, you really got no guide, but his run before that at Moonee Valley, I thought was outstanding. I was disappointed last time.
Well, here we go. News coming through on that protest, I think fifth against fourth. A Thong Classic number 3.
Looks an absolute picture of health. He got lost there for a while. His last couple have been much better. Expect him to race forward and run well.
Upheld new numbers, so upheld on the previous race. So 6, 1, 2 and 7 across the line. So 6, 1, 2 and 7. So for those of you taking bets on the previous, just note that protest 5th versus 4th. 2 minutes until Victoria Park. So new placing 6, 1, 2, 3 and 7. 6, 1, 2, 3 is in 4th position, which is North Boy. Alf Matthews, we're looking at Grey Song. Looks a chance today.
Well, I'm going to take him on because I do believe he is a genuine wet track horse. Too short.
The A-Train, number 5's right in the market.
Yeah, I find it very hard to catch him. Very inconsistent galloper, and his last start I thought was average.
The Second Mortgage.
The Second Mortgage, again, isn't doing enough, in my opinion. I think he's been disappointing. He's had a tough campaign.
If we can, I'd like to skip down to number 8, Gold Lottie, who I thought sneaks in here. Lovely chance at the weights.
Yes, and looks an absolute picture, Brendan. The only thing that annoys me, she hates jumping cleanly from the gates. If she does step, I anticipate her leading. Looks very, very nice under saddle here. Victoria Park's fast approaching. There's several other runners, but National Treasure, number 12, there's Leicester Thunderwig. Number 12 is the other interesting run. The well-tried on-course favourite, a daughter of Zabeel, has been racing very well. And I suppose, can I say, a typically hard, fit, Gay Waterhouse-trained horse. It'll run very well and has got the man in the saddle. OK, you can go away and assess what you like. Before we go to Victoria Park, Richard, what jumped out at you in the mounting yard?
I had a good look at him. I thought Maguire looked well, the number 1. The number 2, Henderson Bay, he looked great. He looks fabulous. So if you've got a bit of a liking for him, don't be worried about how he looks because he looks great. Grey Song, small horse, fully fit, doesn't take the eye. The A-Train looked well. Second Mortgage, just OK. I wasn't overly impressed. Gold Lottie looked OK. Leicester Thunderwing looks a bit light to me. Number 11, probably hasn't got the class to win it, Miss Meliss. But I tell you what, looks fantastic. And I actually tipped it last start. Yeah, and National Treasure looks rock hard, typical Gay Waterhouse, good shine on his coat. Pantone looked OK. And Requiem, he's a pretty horse.
He's a very pretty horse.
He's a pretty horse.
Yes, typical of a lot of the sons of Danehill. Yes. Good styles of individuals, pretty. Well, a man who's not pretty standing by Victoria Park, Hilton Donaldson, only joking.
His last 2 runs have indicated he's back to whereabouts he should be.
All right. Hope you're running on and winning. Good luck.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks, Pat Carey's got Thong Classic, Brendan. We'll come back with more in just a moment.
OK, and as far as it's concerned on course, not value on the tote, but it's been kept very, very safe in betting. A bit of money for the Second Mortgage on course. It's similar to what they're betting on course to the tote. And at longer odds, Richard's pretty horse Requiem is massive overs on the tote. There's been a little bit of support for it, Richard.
Yes, it has been. Look, he's a pretty horse. He's a Danehill, and look, I don't really like their record at 2,400 metres, Danehills, once they get over the age of 3. So I'll be prepared to risk him. I thought Henderson Bay at the around $17 there on the tote. Look, he looked very well. I know his form's been pretty ordinary, but he looked well. But there's a number of horses in this race look well, and I think Alf named a few others. So, look, I think you've just got to take it on form, because there's probably not a horse there that looked like it couldn't win it.
Leicester Thunderwing is massive overs on the tote, almost double what they're betting on course, Andrew.
Yeah, well, I was just talking to Ken about that. It's not a big betting stable, so we're getting some real good value through Super Tab at the moment.
Yeah, that's normal, Andrew, yeah.
Well, this horse, we saw it win at Benalla in great fashion. A lot less a quality race than this one, but up to the 2400, it just seems ideal for Leicester today.
This is where everything's been aimed at, 24 and onwards. He's a genuine stayer, and this is the first chance we got to prove it on a decent track.
Yeah. Flemington last start, what can we put it down to last week in the Group 2 Turnbull?
The others were too good.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
He's a handicap stayer, and I was more than happy with his effort. You know.
True weight for age race it was. You're back into the, well, a few here trying to get into next week's Caulfield Cup.
We're one of them.
And you're one of them.
Yeah.
You really got to win to clinch it, haven't you?
Yes, and it's not the be-all and end-all, but we'll continue on to Melbourne, etc. His best form, as I say, has been over the Derby distances, so I see no reason why I won't, think that way.
No, exactly. Good luck to you, Ken.
Thanks very much.
And I hope we stick with the overs, about $31, Brendan.
As I mentioned, Andrew, it's almost double the odds they're betting on track. Clear cut on course favourite National Treasure, slightly better value of the tote, and they've backed the Second Mortgage to be the clear cut second elect, so some confidence comes there. Victoria Park, let's check out the dividend details for you.
Right, just speaking about the Second Mortgage, he was second last year when he needed to win to make the Caulfield Cup field, and he's in the same place today, as are most of these. There are 11 Caulfield Cup horses, and for pretty much 10 of them, the exception being Maguire, they need a win here to be absolutely assured of getting into the race next Saturday. Here's Grey Song. Next up will be Thong Classic, and now Leicester Thunderwing is coming in. National Treasure is the clear favourite, 340 on the total, a little shorter on course, and the Second Mortgage well tried into second elected, $8.30. Firetain at big odds in the yellow colours. The A-Train about to link in here for Damien Oliver. Goes up. Firetain comes in now, and they're nearly set. Miss Malice, who also remains unqualified for the Caulfield Cup, she needs a victory here. It really is down to the wire for the majority of these. National Treasure's been a very progressive Zabeel mare in the Waterhouse team. Ran well in Sydney before coming here for this, the acid test. They're all set to go. Ready. Racing. National Treasure out just reasonably down towards the inside, and the Second Mortgage was away well. So is Pantani, the South Australian Derby winner, began fast. Requiem's up there too from Leicester Thunderwing. Thong Classic from a wide barrier trying to work over, but it's Pantani now going to the lead with Requiem on his inside. They head off the Second Mortgage. National Treasure beautifully placed fourth, one away from the rail, turning out of the straight. Thong Classic caught four wide from Firetain, and then came Gold Lottie and Leicester Thunderwing as they leave the straight. Next, Maguire on the inside of Henderson Bay, a length and a half to Rum. Is being followed by Miss Melissa, and then the A-Train and Grey Song back last of all. About 1,700 metres to go. Pantani led. Requiem is second, and the Second Mortgage a length and a half away, third on the inside, followed by Thong Classic, who got across one off the road. He's fourth with some cover, so he's in a beautiful place. 2 lengths to National Treasure, now fifth, and a length further back, Gold Lottie getting fired up a little there. Firetain on her outside, and then Leicester Thunderwing. The pace is slowed, and Maguire over races. Then Henderson Bay, a length and a half to Rum, Miss Melissa, and they're followed by the A-Train and Grey Song back last of all. Pantani led up the rise near the back of the course, a length and a half clear. Requiem is second at the 1,200 metres. The Second Mortgage over on the rails, and then Thong Classic, 1.5 National Treasure. Gold Lottie getting through on the inside of her, forcing Firetain 3 wide now, and 2 lengths Leicester Thunderwing. Maguire worse in midfield on the rail, and then Henderson Bay out 3 wide, and he's circling the field at the 1,000. Next is Rum, Miss Melissa, and then the A-Train and Grey Song. To the railway side now, Pantani. It hasn't been run fast. He leads by 3/4 Requiem. Over on the inside, the Second Mortgage from Thong Classic and Firetain. 2 to Gold Lottie, National Treasure. Henderson Bay around her. They're bunching now. Then Miss Melissa, followed by Maguire, awkwardly placed on the inside of Leicester Thunderwing. The A-Train taking off, and then Rum and Grey Song at the 600. And Requiem straight up to join Pantani. Thong Classic ready to let loose. The Second Mortgage needing a run. Gold Lottie through the inside. National Treasure's under under pressure. She's boxed in with horses around her now as they corner from Henderson Bay, and Miss Melissa coming with a run. Thong Classic raced up. He's taken the lead round the turn from Requiem. The second Mortgage is in the clear, and then Pantani, Gold Lottie, and then Miss Melissa. 150 metres to go now. Thong Classic, Requiem the inside. The second Mortgage closing at every stride. Requiem, Thong Classic. The second Mortgage is looming large now. The second Mortgage out wide, hit the lead, won it. The second Mortgage by a nose, Requiem. Between them, Thong Classic third. Then Miss Miller's National Treasure, Lester Thunderwing and Pantani. Next, Gold Lottie, Maguire and Grey Song, and they were followed by Firetain, Rum, Henderson Bay as well back, and the A Train last in. Stand by for numbers. The photo's been called for again. The judge has been kept busy today. He's got it. The second Mortgage has won. Number 6, Karen McAvoy and Michael Moroney squeeze the second Mortgage into the Caulfield Cup field next week, and he drops to just 50 kilos after his victory with 54 this afternoon. Number 6, the second Mortgage, who was runner-up in the race last year and failed in his bid to make the Caulfield Cup, goes one better with victory in the last few strides over Requiem, who'd sat outside the pace in what was what looked to be a fairly slowly run race, and the on-pacers have quite dominated at the finish. Here's the time through. We've got 2:29.89.
2:29.89. Richard, what did you make of that? I thought our Melissa produced a good run from a future perspective, coming from well off the pace in a slowly run race.
Wasn't it a bit eye-catching in a slowly run race from the back? It ran fourth though, and let's look at the winner here. And the second Mortgage, look, he looks like he's had plenty of racing, and I can't say that he looked great in the yard, but I tell you what, they all looked well enough to say that it was just the horse on form was going to win. It got a good run, and you know, wore them down in the end. It's got into the Caulfield Cup, but none of them can win the Caulfield Cup for mine.
Andrew Ramsden has had so much success in big staying races. He's with Andrew Bensley.
You have enjoyed a great deal of success in racing, but finally the second Mortgage is into a Caulfield Cup.
Well, let's face it, he's been so unlucky the last two starts particularly, and I think maybe sort of trying to get him where he's got every day he has this asthma type thing on. He breathes in to fix his lungs. He had a tongue tie for the first time. He needs all the help he can get, I tell you. I'll be surprised. I had a bit of success in Caulfield Cups, but I think this race this year will be too good for second Mortgage, in my humble opinion.
It's just good to have a runner, I guess.
Yeah, sure. No, he's always shown promise, and so many things wrong with him, and so unlucky. So I think I deserved that.
When he came, he was sort of a bit spruiked up, wasn't he? Like he was a highly spruiked horse.
Yeah, but he was, because, you know, Michael said he's probably the best day he's ever had, and you know, in that stage he had Brew, so maybe he may now proven to be right. I just wonder about that. I'm not sort of completely excited yet, because I think maybe he might be a bit in the Melbourne Cup.
All right. Well, what about Sky Heights? Disappointing. Has been scratched today. We understand just a slight virus or signs of.
Yeah. Everybody gets ready to be winning in races and gets really fit. He seems to get this blood count problem, and so again we have to slow him down again. It's a funny horse. He's just the most lovely horse, and these things happen. But I hope we'll sort of drop him back a bit and try and maybe the McKinnon Stakes, and maybe get on and try that Sandown Classic again. I think any Melbourne Cup aspirations have gone.
All right. Well done today.
Okay, thanks.
There we go. There's Andrew Ramsden, Brendan. Michael Moroney will catch up with in a second. Also, we may catch up with a winning jock too.
What a lethal combination. Karen McAvoy and also Michael Moroney. Perhaps another Cups campaign is brewing. Pardon the pun. Larry Olsen, I know you...
Race 4 here at Rosehill, numbers 4, 6, 2 and 1. It's always hard, an inexperienced three-year-old filly taking on company such as this, but she's a lovely type. Uniforms, number 4.
Join the line now, and in goes Mammoth to stall number 12, and we're all set. Uniforms, rider Huey Bowman and all Cerise. 1100. And they're off this time. Uniforms was last out. First to leave was Leander Hall, Miss Goldie Horn and Grand Esteem out well. Followed by Aspen Grove and Magic Miss Final Date wider out. Mont Shannon very, very wide. Uniforms making up some lost leeway from Amitabha, Maitland Gold. Flying Anna and Mammoth is last. Leander Hall sets up a brisk speed and leads a length and a half. Miss Goldie Horn onto the side. Grand Esteem third and very wide out. Final Date from Aspen Grove and Magic Miss Mont Shannon. And then Amitabha and Uniforms about 3 to Maitland Gold around Flying Anna, and 3 or 4 lengths to Mammoth Last as they race around the corner. The speedy Leander Hall, a length on Miss Goldie Horn as they straighten up now. 1.5 to Grand Esteem locked away, followed by Final Date. Mon Shannon making ground, and Uniforms is under pressure next as they race past the 300, and Miss Goldie Horn quickly raced to the lead from Leander Hall. Grand Esteem into the clear. Uniforms is next, but it's Miss Goldie Horn. She shot right away from Grand Esteem and Uniforms, and Miss Goldie Horn bolts in from Grand Esteem, Uniforms, and then Magic, Miss Maitland Gold, Amitabha, Mammoth, followed by Flying Anna. Leander Hall stopped, and the last 3 home, Mon Shannon in company with Final Date at Aspen Grove.
Easy win to Miss Goldie Horn ahead of Grand Esteem and Uniforms, 9.34. That one prepared by Bob Thompson, ridden by Brian York. And that's career win number 4 as we watch the distinctive left-hand riding style, whip riding style of Brian York. He's very good on pace rider, and it's 9.34 across the line. So, and that gives Bobby Thompson his first win on the card today. Now that's the scene at Victoria Park. This is the first 2-year-old race of the Adelaide season. It's turned out some good horses over the years. I remember Racer's Edge won this, and never following winning this race went out of a stakes race.
Well, look at the betting on this race. The number 1 at $1.80, everything else at double figures and nearly 20 to 1. I mean, really the punters think that Son of Spartacus has got this wrapped up, and in these early races the punters are usually right. That is the most unbelievable betting race I think I've ever seen.
Well, Son of Spartacus debuted to win in Adelaide September 21 in the early 2-year-old race. Oakwood ran third on that occasion, and the rest are all first starters except for Spar Liza, which ran 6th on that occasion. And the rest are all on debut.
Should take a trifecta, boxing all the rest and leave the favourite out. It's your only way of getting a quid.
Any price a winner, they say, Richard. Eagle Farm, Wishart for Philip Cox and Michael Pelling winning 7, 5 and 3 in their 4th race on the card. And number 1 was in 4th position. Now at Rose Hill, it's Miss Goldie Horn from Grand Esteem and Uniforms. Well, the Group 1 action is about to begin here at Caulfield. We kick off with the Caulfield Guineas, and here's a check of how the latest betting figures look. Now, on course, it's still Bella Spree, only just a shade ahead of Helenas.
Look at Choisir, the difference in price between New South Wales and Victoria. $5.20 on the New South Wales TAB, $10 in Victoria. So
guess where he's trained?
Well, exactly right. The Victorians don't respect the New South Wales form, but the people in New South Wales do. Half Hennessy, exactly the same. Titanic Jack down there at $5.50 in New South Wales and $5.10 in Victoria, looks well. Helenas there at $5.40 on the tote as well. Pretty open amongst the top 3 or 4 chances in the race, but certainly they've not shied away from Bella Spree.
Well, Greg Childs has already had a great kick-off to the day, already riding a winner. In this upcoming race, he's in the Sunline colours on a young up-and-coming horse who's got a very good form reference. It's called Bunker. Andrew Bensley bunkers down with Steve McKee.
Well, Steve, the McKees have hit Melbourne town with not just 1 but 2 horses on this occasion. Bunker, what about its hopes in this race, the Guineas?
Yeah, big step up for him, Andrew, but, you know, what he's done very impressively. So, you know, he's got a nice draw, top rider on, so hoping, really.
From the barrier, you should be able to race prominent, which he normally does?
Should be able to, yeah. He should be up in the first half dozen or so, and, you know, all going well, he can sprint home from there. He's a horse that's, you know, he can sprint a couple of times in a race, albeit in weaker company, but, yeah, hoping he's riding well.
All right. How's the mare, Sunline?
Very good. She, I just saw her about 10 minutes ago, and she looks very good since she's arrived at the track, so quite happy with her.
Nice.
Yeah, very good. Probably in better shape just looking at her all round than she was last time, so all things being equal, should be, you know, top run today.
What's your thoughts about it? 2,000 Lonrose. Sunline maybe a race or half a race behind it, seemingly her preparation. I mean, what do you think?
Well, when you say that, it sounds like a trap race, doesn't it, really? It could be something that's a little bit fitter that comes over the top of them. But, you know, we're at the stage now where we're very happy with her.
Okay. Well, good luck, Steve, whatever
Cheers,
happens
Andrew.
today, mate.
Thanks,
mate. Steve McKee joining us. They have Bunker in the Guineas and Sunline in the Yalumba.
When you look back to the honour roll, Andrew, at former Caulfield Guineas winner, Storm Queen, Surround, Luskin Star, Manicato, Red Anchor, great horses won it. Mahogany, of course, won it. One of my favourites, though, Redouts and Testarossa, one of the most memorable, I suppose, spine-tingling finishes.
Yeah, fabulous finish that. And I tell you what, many good horses have come out of the race and will continue to do so. It's a quality race at the right distance, run at the right time of the year. And, you know, I think it's a race everyone looks forward to. It really marks the beginning of the Spring Carnival in Melbourne proper. I know we've been having good races up until now, but this is the day when it really gets going. And good horses seem to put their hand up this day.
OK, we're awaiting sign of the runners to arrive in the mounting yard. This is the latest. They've come up from the pre-race parade area thus far today.
By the way, Lonhro in the Yalumba Stakes, John Hawkes, supremely confident this morning. I said, how will Lonhro go? He said, if he doesn't fall over, he'll win.
Didn't he say if he doesn't fall off? Referring to the jockey, he'll win?
I think he could have said that, but I wasn't going to say that and tip Darren Beadman in. You know what? John Hawkes wasn't that critical of Darren Beadman's ride. I know it's been reported in the paper that he was, but I'm telling you, John Hawkes said, look, he was a bit of a victim of circumstance. All he could have done was go back to last when he was beaten at his last start. But he's very, very confident today.
OK, here come the runners, including Bella Spree, a winner of the Blue Diamond Stakes, and he's been racing in the very best of company this time. Alf Matthews joins us, placed in a Manikato and a Dubai Racing Club Cup. This has to be a little easier. The distance, the query.
Well, that is correct there. The distance is the query for Bella Spree. I just believe they have to even his race out. Still, looks $1 million, and look, they've done a fantastic job with this. John Simons, he's up there at Mount Macedon. He'll run well.
Correct weight is there at Rose Hill, placings across the line 934. Number 2, Choisir.
I thought it was outstanding last start, third at Ranwick, behind Rare Insight. Raced a little bit keenly, drawn perfectly to have a nice run today, and does look very well. Obviously travelled down very well indeed.
Number 3 is Half Hennessy. Now, this is the horse we've remarked so often about, such a good looker. Has he been a victim of circumstance, or has he failed to step up?
I've got no doubt he's been a victim of circumstances. At Caulfield here at his first attempt, he was ridden far too aggressively out of the gates, in my opinion. But Corey Brown did tell me later that the horse didn't want to step cleanly. The same thing applied at Moonee Valley in the Stutz Stakes, and I don't believe it had any luck whatsoever. It hasn't drawn well. It'll need luck, but it's a good horse.
90 seconds, Victoria Park. Delago Brom?
Well, again, this horse, apart from his last start failure, where he drew awkwardly, his form is very good indeed. People do concede it was possibly a little disappointing, but will run a nice race today.
Great Glen dictated in the prelude. Can he dictate here?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. He's drawn beautifully. If Bella Spree wants to go forward, he'll get the nice drop on him. He'll run well. OK, we'll look at the 6, 7 and 8. Cool Trent. Cool Trent, blinkers on today. Brett Preble said that he will not over-race with them on. That gives him some sort of chance.
In 2 points on course is Titanic Jack.
He's the horse I do believe will get the perfect run in transit here. He looks a picture. OK, we're looking at Helenas, number 8, before we go to Victoria Park. Hasn't this horse stepped up to the plate? Yes, he certainly does. He looks fantastic. He'll run well. However, in late mail, I will give you another theory. OK, we'll come back and look at more as we count down to the Group 1 Caulfield Guineas. They're still just meandering their way into the mounting yard. And we'll have the assessments of our team very soon. Let's take you to Victoria Park, the Fulham Park Plate.
Well, they get ready as we welcome both services, Sky Channel and Sky Racing, crossing at the same time. We've got a yellow cap on Rowdy Smeitzer. They're ready to run. They stand beautifully. Most of them have barrier trial, or at least more than half the field. One jockey's obviously not ready. Set. Doesn't hold them long. They're racing. Cosmic Dude red at the start. Avon Ellis, Spar Lies are the only two going to the outside. Fast away Lady Night along the rails with Harass and Oakwood showing speed. Rowdy Smeitzer, Champagne Gold. Son of Spartacus is going to sit just behind the speed, followed by On Focus. Outside them, Lamb Yana, followed further back by Maduro. Cosmic Dude a long way back in the field with Mott Dior. And out wide on the track, it's Spar Liza and Avonella as they approach the 400. And Champagne Gold crossed down and led Rowdy Smeitzer. Son of Spartacus looks to be cruising outside them, followed by Lady Night, and then came On Focus, and further back in the middle of the field, Lamb Yana, and the rest are not in the race. The outside two won't run in the first three. It's Champagne Gold tackled by Son of Spartacus, who quickly raced up and joined the leader. Champagne Gold fights back and into the clear. On Focus is starting to run on strongly late. Son of Spartacus On Focus. Son of Spartacus just in front of On Focus, who dived and might have got up. Could be On Focus from Son of Spartacus. Third, Champagne Gold. Close up, Lamb Yana and Rowdy Smeitzer. Not far away, Maduro or Oakwood, and just behind them, Lady Night. Further back in the field, behind these, as they come back into view from behind the tower, finishing wide out was Mott Dior, together there with Harass and Cosmic Dude. Lost it at the start by Raring. A long way back, Avonella and Spar Lies are the two coming down the outside rail. Late scratching ambulance.
And a tight go on the outside. On Focus, Joe Bowdish for Craig Curtis. On the inside, Son of Spartacus, Simon Price for Tony McAvoy. And on that, you'd think the The outside will get it, but we'll wait that to be confirmed from the judges' box at Victoria Park. 8-1-13. It is confirmed across the line, and that helps Joe Bowditch to his second winner on the card. It upstages the Hot Pot. $32 it's paid, the 8 across the line. On course, equal favourites, Bella Spree and Helenas for the Guineas. Two more runners to look at, Alf Matthews, and they include the heavily tried Titanic Jack. And as they head out, there's Bella Spree. Titanic Jack is a horse which has been well tried on course, and the other one is number 15, Bunker. Neat little horse from the Trevor McKee yard. We'll take a look at those shortly. Now it's time for the late mail.
Well, I've put number 7, Titanic Jack, on top here. Looks an absolute picture in the mounting enclosure. Very well composed. Jockey as well. It will get, in my opinion, the perfect run in transit here. Number 2, Choiseul, travels down from Sydney. It'll run well. Looks fantastic in the yard. It's drawn beautifully to lead if it wants to, or race just off them. Really does look nice, and I do believe that he will race Melbourne way perfectly. Number 1, Bella Spree, they've got to even his race out. They can't afford to kick and sprint early or take off later in the race. They must ride him evenly, so he's going to need luck to get the trip. Number 6, one is a standout in the yard. Cool Trent looks absolutely fantastic. With the blinkers applied today, expect him to run better. 7 ahead of 2, 1 and 6.
OK, they will struggle to run to time here with number 9 just coming into the mounting yard, Roehampton. Helenas, Andrew Bensley, Leon Corstens oversaw the preparations of so many megastars under Bart Cummings. Is he preparing the next star to emerge?
Well, the way Helenas finished in the Bill stud, he has got a very bright future, Helenas, Leon.
Yeah, he's done everything right. He did a few things wrong, admittedly, in the Bill stud, but he's still, you know, going through a learning curve. So today, with a little bit more pace on in the race, I'm hoping that, you know, he'll race a bit more tractable.
Each time I've spoken to you in the last month or so, you've really been happy just the way, each time he races, just the way he's progressed. Has he done that since the Bill start?
Yeah, I'm really pleased with the horse. He's come along in leaps and bounds. It's only his first preparation. And in a race like this, a little bit of luck in running, well, it's a great big help.
Yeah. Now, tell us, what do you think Dee Oliver's going to do, mate? Because you would have thought about it. I know he's on another horse and totally out of your camp, but what do you think he'll do on Bella Spree?
Well, I really think it's a mystery one. If I was a trainer, I'd sort of leave it up to Damien. At least that way I wouldn't get blamed afterwards. So, you know, I really don't know. I don't know what he's bound to do, you know.
Well, I hope S. King gets yours around safely. Good luck, Helenas.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Leon. Leon Corstens, Brendan.
And he could have a very smart galloper, the Stud Stakes winner, Richard Freedman. There is an awful lot of quality horse flesh in this field. What took your eye?
Gee, I was impressed with the field. There were so many nice colts in this field. Bella Spree looked great. The 15 Alley's the hard part. I mean, does he let him get fired up and come across and lead these, in which case I think it'll be hard for him to run at 1,600 metres, or does he try and bury him? It's hard to bury them from 15 Alley. You end up outside on the outside with no cover. But he did look great, so he's going to look the winner somewhere. Choiseul looked fantastic. I have to say, he's come down from Sydney to Melbourne, and I reckon he's done everything right. Half Hennessy, fit and well. Delago Brom, another one who looked very, very well. Great Glenn looked okay, but just to me looked like the hard racing might be just starting to tell on him. Cool Trent, nothing wrong with him. Titanic Jack, fantastic. Reminds me of Chong Tong to look at. Same colour, same style of horse. But a lovely horse, Titanic Jack. Helenas looked very well, but he's a bit mentally fragile. He's getting a bit fired up, and, you know, that could be a problem for him in a race where he has to do everything right. Roehampton was fine. Tycoon Ruler was a bit light, but that's typical of the stable. All of me's a chunky little horse. King Wells sweated up a little bit. Sailor Reeve is a bit immature, Sailor Reeve. AC/DC. Now, it hasn't got the form,